Okay, so get this. We're diving into some interesting material today about the new Earth.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, so apparently, and this is from a text that we found online.
Okay.
It's like this whole spiritual thing, kind of esoteric.
Yeah.
And it talks about how some people are like chosen for this new Earth. And
Really?
yeah, it lays out these steps on how to align with its unique frequencies.
Okay, so it gets into the specifics.
Yeah, and it talks about frequencies as well.
Interesting.
But chosen or not, I'm just curious, like, what's this whole frequency thing even about?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot.
Exactly. So,
Well, one thing I found fascinating about this text is how it presents this idea of the new Earth, not as some future possibility, but as like a parallel reality
Oh, wow.
that exists like right now.
Really?
Yeah, vibrating at a higher frequency than our current reality.
Okay, now that's where I get a little lost. Higher frequency, lower frequency. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Right. It's
Like, am I a radio or something?
well, actually, that's the analogy the text uses. Tuning a radio to a specific station.
Okay.
You have to adjust, like your internal dial,
Oh.
to match the new Earth's frequency.
Yeah.
Then you can experience it.
Yeah, okay, so I got to find the right station, basically.
Exactly.
But how do we even know what station we're on
right.
to even begin to change it, right?
That's where it gets interesting, this
Ugh.
idea of vibrational frequencies, right?
Okay.
The text argues that everything from our thoughts, emotions, even our physical bodies, vibrates at a certain frequency. And these frequencies, right?
Yeah.
They affect how we experience the world and how we connect with other people.
Okay, so if I'm feeling like really stressed and anxious, is that like I'm just broadcasting a really bad frequency?
You could think of it that way, yeah, like a staticky signal that's preventing you from tuning into the higher frequency of the new Earth.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and so the text suggests, things like meditation can actually help you clear out that static.
Oh, okay. So meditation is like a frequency upgrade.
You could think of it that way, yeah.
But, I've tried meditating before and my mind just races.
It's hard, right?
Yeah, how do I actually make it work,
Yeah, and the text actually addresses that directly.
Okay.
It's not about, like, emptying your mind completely.
Right.
It's more about learning to observe your thoughts without judging them.
Okay.
So you focus on your breath as like an anchor. So when your mind inevitably wanders, you just gently bring it back to your breath.
Okay.
It's really about cultivating this state of deep listening to yourself and to like the subtle energies around you.
Okay, so instead of getting frustrated when my mind is all over the place,
Right.
I should just kind of watch those thoughts and let them go.
Exactly. And the more you practice this,
Okay.
the easier it becomes to quiet the mental chatter and tap into that inner stillness. And it's in that stillness that you can actually start to connect with those higher frequencies of the new Earth.
I see. Okay, so it's all about quieting the mind first.
That's a process, yeah.
But the text also talks about awareness in our daily lives, right? Like, it's not just about sitting on a cushion and meditating all day.
Absolutely. It's about bringing that awareness into everything you do.
Yeah.
So being present in each moment, right?
Okay.
And noticing your thoughts, your emotions, even your actions.
Okay.
It's really the foundation for any kind of transformation because you can't change what you're not aware of.
That's true. Yeah. So before I can even think about tuning into the new Earth, I need to just tune into myself.
Exactly.
Like, pay attention to what's going on inside my own head.
Yeah. Become an observer of your own experience.
I like that. Okay.
And speaking of tuning in,
Okay.
the text actually highlights a fascinating connection between our internal state and the new Earth.
Okay.
It's the role of the heart.
Wait, the heart? I thought we were talking about frequencies and energy. What does the heart have to do with any of this?
Well, a lot of spiritual traditions, they view the heart as more than just a physical organ.
Oh.
They see it as a center of spiritual and emotional intelligence.
Really?
Yeah, the seat of compassion and love.
Okay, so it's not just about thinking our way to a higher frequency.
Right.
It's about feeling our way there.
Exactly. The text suggests that opening your heart, leading with love in your interactions, and letting go of past hurts are all crucial for aligning with the new Earth.
That sounds beautiful.
Right?
But honestly, a little daunting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Letting go of past hurts. I mean, especially grudges. That can be really tough,
It's not easy.
Is that really necessary to, like, experience this new Earth?
Well, the text makes a case for it.
Okay.
It argues that holding on to negative emotions like anger and resentment, that actually lowers your vibrational frequency.
Oh.
It's like you're carrying around all this heavy baggage
Yeah.
that weighs you down and prevents you from resonating with those higher frequencies.
I see. Okay, so forgiveness is like an energetic spring cleaning.
You could say that, yeah.
Out with the old, in with the new, higher vibes.
Right.
But how do we actually do that, you know?
Yeah.
Because forgiving someone who's hurt us can be so hard.
It is, and the text acknowledges that.
Okay.
It emphasizes that forgiveness doesn't mean condoning the action.
Right.
It's more about releasing the negative energy you've been holding on to.
Oh, I see.
So it's really about freeing yourself from the burden of those emotions for your own well-being.
I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah. And it all ties into another important concept the text highlights.
Okay.
It's the connection between our thoughts and intentions and the reality we actually experience.
Okay, this is where it gets a little woo-woo, right?
It does, a little bit.
We're talking law of attraction, manifesting, all that stuff.
It is aligned with that concept, yeah.
Okay.
So the text suggests that our thoughts are actually incredibly powerful. They can actually influence our reality by consciously directing our thoughts towards positive outcomes,
Okay.
like healing, love, abundance. We can actually invite those experiences into our lives.
Okay. I like that idea.
Yeah.
But what about when things are really, really tough, you know?
Yeah,
It's hard to think positive when you're, like, facing challenges.
absolutely. And the text acknowledges that.
Okay.
It's not about ignoring the challenges.
Right.
It's more about choosing how you respond to them.
Okay.
So focusing on what you want to create
Right.
rather than dwelling on what you don't want.
Yeah, so even if I'm going through something difficult,
Yeah.
I can still choose to focus on what I want to attract into my life,
Precisely.
even if it doesn't feel real yet.
Exactly. And that's where the concept of setting intentions comes into play.
Okay.
It's about consciously choosing the direction you want to move in, right?
Okay.
Aligning your thoughts and actions with your desired outcome.
So it's not just about wishing for things to be better.
Right.
It's actively choosing to believe they can be.
Exactly.
And then, like, taking steps to make that a reality.
Precisely. And the text even points out that even our words carry a certain vibrational frequency.
Really?
Yeah. So speaking consciously,
Yep.
choosing words that uplift and support, those can actually reinforce the higher frequencies that you're trying to align with.
Wow, so even, like, our everyday conversations can impact our energy
It's all connected.
and our ability to connect with this new earth.
Exactly. Your
Okay.
thoughts, your words, your actions, they all contribute to the overall frequency you're emitting.
Okay, we've covered a lot about our inner world. Thoughts, emotions, intentions, words.
Yeah.
But what about our physical bodies?
Yeah.
Do they play a role in this whole new earth alignment thing?
Absolutely. The text emphasizes that aligning with the new earth also involves the physical dimension.
Oh, interesting.
So it suggests that what we eat, how we move, even our environment, all of that can impact our vibration.
So it's not just a spiritual endeavor, it's a holistic one.
Exactly. You have to look at the whole picture.
We need to consider our physical well-being as well.
Yeah, it's all interconnected.
Okay, so the text actually suggests that that consuming high vibration foods can help raise our energy levels.
Right. Things like fresh fruits and vegetables.
So ditching the junk food and opting for more whole foods is actually a good thing.
Exactly. It's about nourishing your body with life force energy.
Who knew? Okay, and what about exercise?
Yeah, movement is important too.
Does that impact our vibration too?
Absolutely. The text suggests that finding movement that you enjoy
Okay.
and that makes you feel grounded and connected to your body can actually enhance your alignment.
So it's not about pushing myself to the limit at the gym.
No, not necessarily.
It's about finding activities that bring me joy and make me feel good.
Exactly. Listen to your body.
I can get behind that.
Think of your body as a vessel for these higher frequencies.
Okay.
You need to keep it tuned up.
All right, so we've covered awareness, emotions, thoughts, words, our physical bodies. It feels like all these elements are kind of interwoven, like threads in a tapestry.
They are. They're all interconnected.
And there's one more thing I wanted to touch on.
Okay.
It's this idea of inner peace.
Yeah.
You know, the text talks about that a lot.
Right. It's a key theme.
But that sounds lovely, but also a little out of reach, you know?
It can feel that way.
Like, is it really possible to achieve inner peace when life is just so chaotic?
Well, the text actually addresses that.
Okay.
It's not about being in this constant state of bliss.
Right.
It describes inner peace more as a proactive presence of harmony within yourself. It's about reconciling your inner conflicts and aligning your heart, your mind and your spirit.
Okay, so it's not just the absence of conflict,
Yeah.
it's like the active cultivation of harmony
Exactly.
within ourselves.
Yeah, it's a practice.
Okay, but how do we even begin to do that?
Well, the text emphasizes mindfulness as a key practice for cultivating inner peace.
Mindfulness. Okay.
So it's about maintaining this moment-by-moment awareness of your thoughts, your feelings, and even your surroundings,
Okay.
but without judgment.
So instead of getting swept away by all the chaos,
Right.
learn to kind of observe it, to ride the waves without drowning.
Exactly. It's about cultivating that inner stability even amidst the storms of life.
Yeah, makes sense.
And the text also mentions self-awareness as being really important for inner peace.
Okay, so how are those two things connected?
Well, self-awareness is about understanding your triggers,
Okay.
your habitual responses,
Yeah.
your deepest desires.
Mm-hmm.
It's about really knowing yourself inside and out.
So it's like having your own personal instruction manual.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Okay.
And once you understand how you operate,
Yeah.
you can actually make adjustments as needed.
Okay, so you can choose to respond differently
Exactly.
instead of just reacting.
Right, and that understanding allows you to respond to life's challenges with more intention and grace,
Okay.
rather than just reacting from a place of fear or insecurity.
I like that. Yeah, okay. So
It gives you more choices.
we've talked about forgiveness before,
Mm.
but the text also brings it up again in the context of inner peace.
Right.
So why is forgiveness so important for cultivating inner peace?
Well, because holding on to grudges or resentment,
Yeah.
that just creates this inner turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps you tied to those lower vibrational frequencies.
Yeah.
Forgiveness, both of others and of yourself.
Okay.
It's about releasing those burdens
Yeah.
and freeing up your energy for more constructive and fulfilling things.
So it's about choosing to let go of that negativity, not because the other person necessarily deserves it,
Right.
but because you deserve inner peace.
Exactly. You're doing it for yourself, ultimately.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
And the text actually suggests creating a sacred space in your home
Okay.
for meditation, reflection, rest that can actually support this cultivation of inner peace.
So it's about creating a physical representation of that inner sanctuary.
Yeah, a place where you can escape the chaos
Right.
and reconnect with yourself.
I love that. Okay, and then the text also talks about spending time in nature.
Absolutely. Nature's so healing.
Yeah, nature always has a way of putting things into perspective, you know?
It does, yeah.
It reminds you that you're part of something much bigger than yourself.
And nature inherently resonates with the frequencies of the new earth.
Oh, interesting.
So it can help you align with them more naturally.
I see. Okay, and then
And lastly,
there's this emphasis on gratitude.
yes, gratitude is huge.
Okay, how does simply being thankful help with, like, all the problems in the world, you know?
Well, the text explains that focusing on what we're grateful for helps to shift our perspective from lack to abundance,
Okay.
from fear to love.
Okay.
And that shift in consciousness can be really powerful.
So it's like choosing to see the good even amidst the challenges,
Exactly.
finding those little glimmers of hope
Yes.
that remind us that a better world is possible.
Precisely. Gratitude aligns you with those positive energies of the universe.
Yeah.
And helps you cultivate that inner peace that's so essential for connecting with the new earth.
So it sounds like inner peace is really the fertile ground from which all this growth and transformation can occur.
It's the foundation.
It's the foundation for everything else.
Exactly. And it actually leads us to another fascinating aspect of this whole new earth shift.
Yeah.
The importance of community.
Oh, yeah, the community aspect.
But that's a discussion for the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. We'll have to save that for next time.
Yeah, we'll pick up there next time.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so we've talked a lot about, like, tuning our personal frequencies to align with this new earth. But now I'm kind of curious about the community aspect.
Yeah.
How does that fit into the picture?
That's a great question. And actually, the text spends quite a bit of time emphasizing that.
Okay.
It argues that the new earth shift, it's not just like an individual journey, it's a collective one.
So it's not enough to just focus on raising our own vibration.
Right, exactly.
We need to consider the collective energy as well.
It's like, it uses this analogy of a choir.
Okay.
If each singer is slightly out of tune, the overall sound is going to be discordant. But when everyone is singing in harmony,
Yeah.
it creates this beautiful, powerful sound.
Oh, I see. So we're all like singers in the cosmic choir.
Exactly.
And our individual frequencies are contributing to this overall harmony.
Precisely, yeah. And the text suggests that building strong, supportive communities
Okay.
that resonate with this higher vibrational living, that can actually amplify that harmony and accelerate the shift.
Okay, I get the analogy, but what does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah.
Like, how do we actually build these new Earth-aligned communities?
Well, the text suggests starting with intentional communities.
Okay, intentional communities. So those are
Groups of people who come together
yeah.
based on shared values
Why, okay.
and a commitment to actually living in a way that aligns with those values.
So it's not just about living in the same geographic location, but about having that shared vision and purpose of...
Exactly, yeah. And the text actually mentions a lot of examples of intentional communities that focus on things like sustainability,
Oh, okay.
spiritual growth, or social justice.
So finding your tribe, basically.
Exactly, finding your people.
Right, okay, but intentional communities, those can feel a little exclusive,
And
right?
it can, yeah.
Like you have to fit a certain mold to belong.
Right, and not everyone is going to resonate with that.
Exactly. So what about those of us who, like, don't live in those types of communities?
Well, the text acknowledges that,
Okay.
not everyone is going to choose to live in an intentional community, but it emphasizes that we can all cultivate a sense of community wherever we are.
Okay.
So fostering connections with people who share our values
Yeah.
and supporting each other's growth.
So even if we're not living in a commune, we can still create that sense of community.
Exactly. And the text highlights the importance of communication within communities.
Communication. Yeah.
So active listening, open dialogue, and like a willingness to see things from different perspectives.
That sounds challenging, though.
It can be.
Especially in today's world where everyone seems to be stuck in their own echo chambers.
Right, exactly. And the text acknowledges that that's a challenge, but it encourages us to approach those conversations with empathy and compassion.
Okay.
So it's not about trying to convert someone to your way of thinking.
Right.
It's more about seeking to understand their perspectives.
So it's about listening to understand, not just listening to respond.
Exactly, yeah. And it also stresses the importance of embracing diversity within communities.
Okay, diversity, yeah.
Because if everyone thinks and acts the same...
It would be pretty boring.
Exactly, it would be stagnant.
Right.
Diversity brings this richness and new perspectives.
Right.
It challenges us to grow and expand our understanding of the world.
So our differences are strengths, not weaknesses.
Precisely, yeah. And the text also highlights the importance of service within these communities.
Service.
So it's not just about taking from the community. It's also about giving back and contributing to the collective good.
Putting love into action, basically.
Exactly. The text suggests that serving others is a powerful way to raise our collective vibration and create a more harmonious world.
But sometimes it feels like our individual efforts are just a drop in the bucket.
I know what you mean, and the text acknowledges that feeling.
Yeah.
It encourages us to focus on the ripple effect.
Okay, the ripple effect.
Even small acts of kindness can have this profound impact on others.
Yeah.
And those ripples can spread far and wide.
So it's about trusting that our actions, no matter how small they seem, are contributing to that collective shift.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the text also mentions the role of rituals and celebrations in strengthening community.
Rituals. So like chanting and burning incense and stuff.
Not necessarily, yeah.
Okay.
Rituals can be anything that brings people together in a meaningful way. It could be a shared meal, a community gathering, a celebration of some special occasion.
Yeah, so it's about creating those shared experiences that strengthen the bonds and remind us of our common purpose.
Rituals can help us connect to something larger than ourselves.
Yeah.
And reinforce the values that unite us as a community.
Okay, so I'm starting to get a clearer picture of what these New Earth communities might look like, but it all sounds very idealistic.
It does, yeah.
How do we bridge the gap between these high ideals and like the reality of our often messy, chaotic lives?
It's a great question, and it brings us back to this idea of personal responsibility.
Okay, personal responsibility.
The text emphasizes that the shift really starts with each of us. So it's about embodying the values that we want to see reflected in the world.
So not waiting for someone else to create the perfect community.
Right.
But becoming the change we want to see.
Exactly. It's about aligning our thoughts, our words, and our actions with the principles of this new earth.
What about when we, like, mess up? Because we're all human.
We are, yeah.
We're bound to make mistakes and fall short sometimes.
The text actually acknowledges that.
Okay.
It emphasizes the importance of self-compassion.
Self-compassion, okay.
Recognizing that we're all on a journey. And perfection is not the goal.
Right.
It's about learning and growing along the way.
So it's okay to stumble and fall as long as we get back up and keep moving forward.
Exactly. And the text suggests that we can actually use those mistakes
Yeah.
as opportunities for learning and growth.
Okay.
It's about approaching ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a dear friend.
So treating ourselves with that same compassion that we would offer to others in this community.
Precisely, yeah. And that compassion can actually extend beyond ourselves and our immediate community
Okay.
to encompass all beings.
So expanding that circle of compassion to include the whole planet.
Exactly. The text emphasizes this interconnectedness of all things.
Yeah.
So what we do to others, we do to ourselves. And what we do to the planet, we do to ourselves.
We're all part of that same web of life.
Exactly.
And our actions have that ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves.
Precisely. And that actually brings us to another important aspect of aligning with this new earth, which is this whole concept of chosenness.
Oh yeah, we touched on that at the beginning, but we haven't really explored it yet.
Right. And it's interesting how the text presents this.
Yeah.
It suggests that everyone actually has the potential to be a part of the new earth.
Okay.
But some individuals might feel a stronger calling or resonance with its frequencies.
So it's not about being selected by some external authority.
No, not at all.
It's about recognizing that deep inner alignment
Exactly.
with those values and principles.
Yeah, it uses this analogy of a seed.
Okay.
All seeds have the potential to grow,
Yeah.
but some seeds might be more receptive to the right conditions for growth.
So some people might be more naturally attuned, while others may need to do more work to cultivate that alignment.
Exactly, but there's no judgment or hierarchy involved.
Okay.
It's just recognizing that we're all on different points along the path.
So whether you feel strongly called to this or are just starting to explore it,
Yeah,
there's a place for you
exactly. There's a place for everyone,
in this collective shift.
and we're here to support each other on that journey.
Right, recognizing that we're all in this together and we can learn and grow from each other's experiences.
And that brings us to the heart of what it means to live in alignment with the new earth.
Okay.
It's about embodying love, compassion, and unity in all that we do.
So it's not just about tuning our personal frequencies, but about creating a world that resonates with those higher frequencies.
Exactly. It's a much bigger vision.
That makes sense. But what about the practical side of things?
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked a lot about concepts and principles, but how do we actually do this? What are some tangible steps that we can take to raise our vibration, connect with our community, and contribute to this shift?
That's a great question, and that's something that we'll dive into more detail in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we'll save the how-to for next time?
Yes, the practical tools and techniques.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. All right, so we've covered a lot in this deep dive about this new earth.
We have.
Talked about tuning our frequencies, building those harmonious communities.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
Okay, now I want to know how...
Right, the practical stuff.
What are the actual tools or practices to, like, bring this all to life?
Well, good news.
Okay.
The text actually gives some really interesting techniques for raising your vibration
Okay.
and getting more in tune with this new earth.
Okay, lay it on me.
One that really stood out,
Mm-hmm.
energy healing.
Energy healing. Okay, I've heard of things like Reiki,
Yeah,
acupuncture, but I've always been a little skeptical.
again.
Does the text actually say how this stuff works?
Well, not in a super scientific way,
Yeah.
but it talks about this idea that we all have an energy field
Okay.
and it can get blocked or unbalanced.
Okay.
So energy healing modalities, they're designed to clear those blockages
Okay.
and restore harmony to the system.
So it's like clearing out a clogged pipe.
That's a great way to think about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Remove the blockage
Yeah,
and the energy can flow freely again.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, so the text suggests this can be helpful for releasing emotional baggage, reducing stress, and just overall well-being.
Okay, I could definitely use some stress reduction.
Couldn't we all?
But do you have to be like a trained healer to work with energy?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
There are a lot of simple techniques
Okay.
you can learn to work with your own energy field,
Oh, cool.
like visualization
Okay.
and breath work. Those are two pretty accessible starting points.
Visualization I can understand, but how can just breathing differently shift my energy?
Our breath is actually incredibly powerful.
Okay.
It's like the bridge between our physical body
Oh,
and our energetic body. So the text explains that conscious breathing techniques, they can actually help calm the nervous system,
okay.
clear out that stagnant energy, and even access altered states of consciousness.
Whoa. Okay, I never really thought of breathing in that way.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So it's not just about getting more oxygen into our lungs,
Oh,
but actually like shifting our energy.
exactly. It's a very subtle but powerful practice.
Okay, so we've got energy healing, breath work.
Mm-hmm.
The text also mentions sound healing
Oh, yeah.
as another powerful tool for transformation.
That one's pretty interesting.
Okay, sound healing, that's something I've never tried. What is that about?
It's based on this principle that sound vibrations,
Okay.
they can impact our physical and energetic bodies.
Okay.
So certain frequencies, like the ones you get from singing bowls or tuning forks,
Mhm.
they can actually harmonize and balance our energy field.
So it's like using sound to fine-tune our personal frequency.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And the text suggests that sound healing can be really effective for calming the mind, reducing anxiety, and just promoting deep relaxation.
Okay, so we've got energy healing, breath work, sound healing.
There's a whole world of practices out there.
Sounds like a lot to experiment with.
And the text really emphasizes finding what resonates with you
Okay.
and incorporating it into your life in a way that feels authentic.
Yeah, not forcing anything that doesn't feel right.
Exactly. Because we all have our own unique path.
But what about the bigger picture? Like,
Yeah.
how do we use these tools not just for personal growth, but to actually contribute to this collective shift?
Right, to the new earth.
Exactly.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And the text emphasizes that as we raise our own vibration,
Mm-hmm.
we actually naturally influence the energy field around us.
Oh,
It's like you become a tuning fork
right.
that helps raise the vibration of the collective.
So even if I'm not out there saving the world,
Yeah.
just working on myself can have a positive impact.
Exactly. It's about embodying the change we want to see.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. And the text also suggests using your unique gifts and talents to make a difference.
Okay, so whether you're an artist or a writer or a musician or just someone who loves to connect with others,
Right.
there's a way to channel that passion into something positive.
Exactly. Find a way to contribute.
Right. Okay. But it's hard to stay positive when you see so much negativity and suffering in the world.
Yeah. It can be really challenging.
How do we stay aligned with this new earth vision when things just feel so chaotic out there?
Well, the text actually addresses that directly,
Okay.
and it suggests cultivating a practice of gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay, but how does simply being thankful actually help with all the problems in the world?
It might seem small,
Yeah.
but the text explains that focusing on what we are grateful for actually helps shift our perspective
Okay.
from lack to abundance,
Okay.
from fear to love.
Oh.
And that shift in consciousness, it's very powerful.
So it's about choosing to see the good even amidst the challenges.
Yeah, and that's not always easy.
Finding those glimmers of hope that remind us that a better world is possible.
Exactly. And even small acts of kindness can make a difference.
Okay.
A smile, a helping hand, a listening ear, these simple gestures,
Yeah.
they can actually create a more loving and compassionate world.
It's about remembering that we're all connected.
It is, yeah.
And our actions, no matter how small,
Mhm.
they can have an impact.
They really can.
Okay, so as we kind of wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to remember that the New Earth is not a destination, but a journey.
Absolutely.
It's a process.
It is.
Of continuous evolution, individually and collectively.
Exactly. And the text encourages us to be patient with ourselves and each other along the way.
Okay.
It's going to be messy. There'll be ups and downs.
For sure.
Moments of clarity, moments of confusion.
Yeah, it's all part of the process.
But the key is to keep moving forward. Keep learning and keep trusting the process.
That's a great reminder. We're all works in progress.
We are.
But by embracing the journey, supporting each other,
Yeah.
we can co-create a more beautiful and harmonious world.
Beautifully said. So as you explore these concepts that we've talked about today,
Yeah.
remember to listen to your inner guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Trust your intuition.
Yeah.
Let your heart lead the way.
Yeah.
The new earth is calling, and it's up to each of us to answer that call.
In our own unique way.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the new Earth frequencies.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights
An inspiration.
to take with you on your own journey.
Yeah, and remember, you have the power to make a difference.
I love that.
Embrace your unique gifts, shine your light brightly, and let's create a world that reflects the love, the compassion, and the unity that resides within each of us.
That's beautiful. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep shining your light.
See you next time.